here on the FTW football panel learned football from an early age. So I was around 8, Alvin was 5, and I learned
Roy?
Roy.
I don't know. I really don't remember.
Well, because in England, they just learn it at birth. I don't know.
Paglabas ng parang sumihi pa bigla.
Yes, you guys invented the sport. But I learned it in the Alabang Football School. So we were in the Alabang Country Club, and it was,
Ako, Ateneo Football Center, headed, during that time, it was formed by Coach Chris Montfort, the late, great Coach Chris Montfort. So
because of, football players' background usually coming very similar to ours, football has been deemed as a
elitist
sport where it's not really for the masses, which is very contrasting to, let's say, countries like Brazil.
Yes.
That it's played in the streets, and it's pretty much like what basketball is here. But this is where Roy is actually doing such a great job.
Nux! Yee!
With teaching football to
the less privileged.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Roy, why don't you tell us more about what you do, what you're up to?
Para pala siyang yung nanalong CNN Hero of the Year.
You're like
Efren Peña Florida.
Yeah.
Diba? Nux, pwede ka pala eh.
So Roy, I know you're coming up with the tournament soon.
Yesterday was the tournament.
Oh, sorry.
It was our first Fair Play for All tournament. First time we've organised a tournament, so that was great. It was nice to try out. It first came about because the Korean Cultural Centre wanted to donate some footballs, so they gave us 30 footballs, and obviously we needed an event to sort of say thanks and to do the photo ops. And so we did a small tournament, invited some teams down. It was a mix of teams from rich backgrounds and teams from poor backgrounds. So obviously from Payatas we got the kids living in the dump site there. Smoky Mountain sent a team, Smoky FC, for the under-12s and under-14s, and they were there. And from this, actually, we're hoping to do a kind of Battle of the Dump Sites tournament.
Yun yung term no?
Yeah.
Battle of the sino yung mas malaki.
There must be a lot of trash talking.
Oh, literally. Wow, talaga
well, that was a bit basura.
Sige na nga, pagbigyan natin si Berta.
And a lot of basura goals.
Moving on very quickly.
Hindi, pagbigyan mo na kasi nga, di ba?
Well, yeah, we're actually hoping to do that. I'll talk about that more in a moment. But yeah, the tournament.
Yung basura goals, saka yung trash talking.
Oh my god. So the tournament itself, we went into under-12s, under-14s boys, and under-14s girls division. It was great because you could see there the differences between the kids. It was really like half the teams were from rich backgrounds, half of the teams from poor backgrounds, and the mix was nice. You could really see the difference because like the under-12s and under-14s would be like yay high, and then the under-14s of the richer teams were obviously much bigger. But it was really nice for that. And as I say, Naomi and I were the ones organising the tournament, and just for our first tournament, it went nicely. Our kids actually won the under-12s. Payatas FC won the under-12s division, and then Smoky FC won the under-14s. So these are both the teams coming from the dump sites, from the areas that are like that. Where you've got the kids who are doing the scavenging. I mean, some of our players, for example, they're jumper boys. So they're the ones who'll jump into the truck, scavenge, and they'll be the first ones. Obviously, we're working with them to get them off that and off the streets, etc. But maybe it's because they're so determined, so hardworking. I think that's why that kind of spirit is why they're so determined to do it.
And it channels into football.
Yeah, in this way, if you give it a good place to channel, they can really excel. Smoky are a good side of that. Tondo for Caleros as well. And there's various teams like that who are really doing well. Despite not having any decent facilities, we still train on a basketball court. And we've now won that, and our girls won a previous tournament, and they're doing really well. Smoky they've just won the Inter GK tournament, and various other ones. So it just really goes to show what players can do from these backgrounds. That football is a sport for the poor, and that's what it really was originally. And in England still, it's the working class who tend to become footballers, which is why you'll notice in the press con that most of them aren't so I'm
What?
not sure what the word is.
So what?
Composed with how they come across.
Well, I mean, David Beckham actually told media that how he started. He was like, he collected cigarette. He cleaned the stadium of before a dog pen or something like that. He used to clean it, like getting a pound a day or a pound an hour for that rate. So he, again, working class. So.
Yeah. And Pele, the greatest footballer probably ever, until at least 5 years when we say Messi.
Hell no! He didn't!
He grew up in the poverty in Brazil, and they've got those really good grassroots football projects. It's almost like a natural thing for them where they'll have the different fields, and they'll just play and play and play, like 5-7 aside. Yeah. And that would be great. What we want for Payatas FC at least is to see a pitch in Payatas. What our long-term goal is to have an actual pitch. It'll obviously have to be artificial given the area, but we can have that artificial pitch there. We'll have the drop-in centre for street kids and other things involved with that one in the compound, and that's what our long-term goal is. But with the tournaments themselves, we'll be holding regular tournaments from now on, hopefully working with Football for Good, who held tournaments previously, regular tournaments. And with that, the registration fees from the other teams, obviously there'll be massive discounts for the poor teams as well from other areas, but for the wealthier teams who want to join, we'll be able to use that money to sponsor the education of the kids, the ones who wouldn't otherwise get to go to school. So we'll be using the football as the way to get the kids off the streets and into the education.
Yeah, this is a good way for also for some of the academies, I think, even some of the UFL teams have their own academies, you know.
Yeah.
This is a good way also to help out and then also showcase their talents against the talents also of the other teams. So it's actually a very good start, and hopefully
like here in the Philippines, a lot of basketball players have actually come from near backgrounds, and they really look to the sport as a way to get to send their families to school and all that, and because it's gotten so lucrative to play. So I'm seeing football to develop into that kind of sport in the near future. We can already see, like in the provinces around the Philippines, people are really developing their football programs. So one thing that will help this is really the interaction between the PFF and the Department of Education. We recently heard that there's now an agreement that football will be part of the curriculum for physical education in
Sibulan project.
This is an old program. It started way back. I don't know. There are T-shirts I've been seeing since ages ago, but I guess they're revitalizing it now. And you know, because we're not a naturally footballing country, so this should be a big boost. So Roy, congratulations for your Fair Play for All tournament, and we're looking forward to seeing
we
more
should
tournaments.
we should invite other, you know,
we
those
are
who
actually
interested.
hoping to do I'm thinking maybe September, if it works out, we can hopefully get some invites going for that. This one will just be a girls tournament now, under 16 girls teams only. If we can get 16 teams there, we'll do it like a Euros thing as well. There'll be.
And how can they join that? How can they contact
just get
you?
in contact with us. You can either go to ffafoundation@gmail.com or email me personally at roymond@hotmail.co.uk. It's ROYMOND@hotmail.co.uk.
Or tweet you.
Yep, tweet me, Facebook me. That would probably be the easier way. The handles and everything. Yeah, just tweet me. That'll be a lot easier. But yeah, girls teams under 16s for that one. I'm hoping eventually just each time we'll do it a different one. So under 16 girls one time, under 12 boys, under 14 boys, just different ones each time.
Hoping also that, you know, the UFL academies can also join in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very
Shout
big
out
impact.
Shout
out to the
ones
UFL
with academies.
teams. Yeah,
So-
Kaya, Meralco, I think Nomads also has. So all those teams.
Precisely because Philip.
Socceroos, you know, all those teams from the first division, second division, you know, we can help out in our own ways. Join the tournaments that Roy is heading. So for Fair Play for All. So it's a good start.
Well, precisely because to make football really good, you need to get to the poor kids, because they're the ones who will form the majority of the team in the future. to make a great team, you need to hit the majority of people.
Yep.
And obviously in every country, the poor are the majority. So to make the returns that you're looking on, if you can invest in the poor areas of football, give them a dream in that kind of squatter area, then they'll really take it. If you give that opportunity to the area, then they'll go full-heartedly into that, and they'll do really well. So if you want future Rascals players, invest in the poor areas.
All right, you got it from Roy Moore himself. Soundbite, if you want. Yeah. So please tweet us at FTW Sports if you wanna join the Fair Play for All tournament, and for all other football updates, follow us.